Going to open the Dayton Conservation Commission meeting. It's a public meeting. Would everyone stand, please? It's 7 p.m. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is video and audio recorded for cable broadcast and internet posting on www.dayton-mass.gov and YouTube. Okay, I'd like to welcome, we have two new associate members to add to the commission. On my far left is Lenny Hull, and a bit late coming in is Abel Mariano. Okay, first on the agenda is to review, discuss, and act upon minutes from April and May. First, we'll take a look at the April minutes.
You only have April.
I'm sorry?
I only printed you guys April. May, I had to do a few more edits for. So
Okay, so, all right, so April only. Can I assume that everyone has had a chance to read them over? And, okay, is there a motion to accept the minutes or to make some corrections?
Motion to accept the minutes from April 2024.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. May will be continued then as far as accepting them at our next meeting. Next on the agenda is to review, discuss, act. It's an NRAD application by Dean Smith of New Leaf Dayton Energy Storage LLC for 10 Maynard Lane, map 1, lots 82 and 82-7 and 96. File number 17-476. Continuance requested by Dean Smith to 5:30. The site has been visited and New Leaf Consultants occurred on 5/1. Do we have a report from Beta?
We got the report this morning. They actually finalized the report and sent it to us this morning, and there was a plan change as well. I said, you know, we need to get everything at least a week ahead in order to have enough time, so.
Yeah.
Beta's gonna present at the next meeting their findings
Yeah.
for peer review, and then, we are going to hear back a response from New Leaf,
Okay,
July 18th.
July 8th, so
They requested a continuance.
do I have a motion to continue it to July 18? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next was an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, NRAD, from Carl Rebello, Bell Farm Estate, seeking confirmation of wetland resources at 0 Milk Street, map 17, lots 109, 135, and 208. File number 17-489, site visit between applicant and Weston and Sampson being conducted on 5/10/24. Scope of peer review services provided by Weston and Sampson for Phase C on 5/21.
Yeah, so the update is, we were awaiting for, we received CEC's, final plan for review, and, I forwarded that over to Weston and Sampson. Yeah. Okay. So, they have a proposal for amendment for us. Megan can tell us what that is. I haven't been on the email again today.
Okay, so continued, you said, or?
It's gonna be continued, but Megan, do you know that she's gonna tell us what the cost is gonna be for the additional review based on the revised plans?
It'll be $4,300 for AC of this.
So did you guys wanna vote on that now?
On the amount to be charged for the
Under the 53G, yeah.
53G, 43.
So that's for everything, including the changes they made based on the vernal pool stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the $4,300 amount by Weston and Sampson for the 53G?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And would you like a motion to, this is actually continue to a date uncertain, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so,
Well, is that
No,
to the
it's
9th,
July 18th.
July
oh,
18?
gotcha, okay. Motion to continue until July 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So I was looking at the next,
Okay.
Okay.
We have a notice of intent from Amen Hafsend of Grasshopper Energy, 0 Brook Street, Dayton. Work includes clearing of 28 trees within the 25 to 100-foot buffer zone to jurisdictional wetlands, file number 17492. It had been tabled initially to an uncertain date. Butters need to get re-notified for that when it happens. Has anything happened on that, Lisa?
Well, on our part, it has, Maureen sent off an email to Ahmed requesting an update, on,
Wasn't any response.
yeah, June 7th, let's see. That was, that was sent on June 5th. Hi, Ahmed, I just want to touch base and see where you guys are at with this NOI for the clearing of 28 trees. Do you plan on moving forward with this, or would you like to withdraw it? Thanks, Maureen Kane, Town of Dayton. So, yeah, we didn't receive a response. Technically, I guess we are allowed to leave it on the agenda for 2 years.
Well, when did this, when did this start? The starting date for this?
I really don't know, Jim. I think it
Okay,
was,
okay,
I think it was the fall, though. Do you guys remember
Yeah,
that?
it was back in
When
the
we
fall
start-
when it was
Well, I
asking
mean,
for
it's
that.
been going on for a while, but with the trees and stuff, that was the fall. That was the fall, October.
But that was just, that was a, they wanted an amendment,
Yeah,
but they already had their order of conditions, they just
Right.
wanted the change. So, okay, so they still got another year and a half or a little over a year to go. Okay, is there a motion to continue to table?
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a notice of intent from Junior DeLima for construction of a single-family home, utilities, septic system, driveway, and proposed grading at 418 Hart Street, map 20, lot 95. A portion of the project falls in the buffer zone of jurisdictional wetland resources under the local bylaw. Plan sent to DEP Director Tom Ferry for input and email received. No file number since it's under local jurisdiction only. The Dayton Conservation Commission requested home corners to be staked out, clarifying filling, cutting, in regulated wetlands and our buffer zone has occurred. Okay, is there someone here dealing, would you come to the podium, please? Okay, your name, please?
Evening, I'm Brad Fitzgerald from SFG Engineering, 28 Main Street in Lakeville. At the last meeting, we discussed this project at length, and you actually voted to issue an order of conditions, but apparently you did not close the public hearing. So we're just looking for you to close the public hearing, and that way we can get the order of conditions.
Okay, Lisa, is everything in order on that? I know I've been out there several times and,
well, at this point, I think we have to ask if there's any more public input before we close the hearing.
right, but I'm asking you, is everything on our side in order?
Yes, it was as of the last meeting, that's why I drafted the conditions, but as a formality, we never officially closed the hearing. Brad, I would like to know the final date of your revised plan, do you have that on?
Yeah, I think it's on my display copy, which is back at the office. It's still on display.
Was it May 23rd, revision revision
No.
was done to address the issues from conservation, including seeding of the 25-foot buffer zone and additional erosion control, along with incorporating issues from the highway superintendent, in which he required that the driveway be graded to shut off runoff towards the catch basin to the west, and to be put a 12-inch culvert below the driveway. Do you think that was the last plan?
Yes, definitely.
So too. Okay. So, yeah, I have the orders here, but before we vote on anything, we have to ask for public input and see
Yes.
if the commissioners.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience to ask questions or give comment on this matter at 418 Hart Street?
I have something that was emailed today. Okay. And I just showed Mr. Fitzgerald a copy of this. It's from Jason Machado. He's at, he's the neighbor to the west, right? Correct?
I believe to the left, yes.
Yeah. It's dated today and at 1:19 PM. Hi, Lisa and Maureen. I am unfortunately unable to attend tonight's meeting. I called Tom Ferry and he recommended that I email you on my behalf. My greatest concern, since quite frankly we will not be able to stop them from building, is the thought of the ledge between my property and 418. It is very close to my house and I'd like my concerns of ledge removal affecting the structural integrity of my home and foundation. Tom said this was a valid concern. Please let me know what or how I can make sure nothing will affect my right to quiet enjoyment and my family's. Thanks, Jason Machado with his phone number. So I sent him a copy of the plan as well. He does have that. I kind of think that's a question for you.
Well, number one, I'm not a geotechnical engineer, but I believe his house is well over 100 feet away from this proposed house. Also, the hole has been mostly dug for this house. Since they dug that hole, it now has to shift over 5 or 10 feet because it was too close to the resource area. So they only have to take out 5 or 10 feet of that hole to slide it over. Other than that, I don't know of any ledge removal unless they have to do some for the driveway, which we discussed last meeting. But other than that, we can't guarantee they'll have peace because we don't know, whoever's gonna live in the house, we have no idea what they're gonna do.
Discussion last month was about the ledge.
We talked about that for the driveway, yes, yep.
No, but we have to be mindful that we are dealing with wetlands, the runoff from it, and
Water, wildlife.
stormwater.
Yeah,
And
stormwater.
if there's rock, if there's ledge, then that's up to the builder to deal with. That would not come under conservation, unless, of course, it's a water issue, and right now it doesn't appear to be.
No, I concur with your thoughts, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a drainage issue. Actually, I mean, you're sending it the opposite direction.
Into the existing catch basin, as
Yeah.
Mr. Ferry requested,
Yeah.
yes.
I think, just for the record, I would like to make that last meeting on May 30th, where everything was presented and discussed, part of this record. So if anybody read through it, they could look back at those minutes as well. But as far as the blasting, or, I guess now they don't have to blast, that's not really a best
They
practice.
drill and put an expander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what will happen, but I think that's more of a question for the building department.
I totally concur.
That would not come under wetland jurisdiction.
No, it'd be more building, yes.
So I would like to move on the issue and ask if anyone else here has any questions. If not, we can make a motion to accept or reject the application.
I believe we issued the order of conditions already, right? We're just closing the public hearing.
Just closing the public hearing.
They haven't been issued yet. I have them here for your signature. Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I propose a motion to close the public hearing for
418.
Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Do you wanna,
Thank you, Brad.
Do you want me to mail them, us to mail them to you? or
Unless
would
they,
you like-
unless they want to sign it now, I'll take it.
Well, I would love it, but I only have one
Oh,
copy.
okay.
I'm gonna have them sign them, but I just need to, I don't have a
Yeah, if you
copy.
let me know when they're ready, if Steve or I are gonna be in the neighborhood, we'll stop in.
Okay. That sounds good.
If not, I'll just ask you to mail
They'll
it
be ready Monday.
Monday. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you as well. Good seeing you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, to review, discuss, act on an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation application from David E. Butler seeking confirmation of wetland resources at 833 William Street, map 8, lot 20, file number 17-499. Scope of peer review services received from Weston and Sampson in the amount of $4,720 and contract signed on 5/20/24. Site visit conducted by Weston and Sampson.
Yeah, you can, yeah, sorry. Nope, that's fine.
All right, good evening. Oh. Good evening. My name is Megan Kearns. I'm a wetland scientist from Weston and Sampson, and I'm just going to go over my peer review findings for the 833 William Street ANRAD. So the following materials were reviewed: the ANRAD notice of ANRAD application, the plan, and abutters receipts. So this is the map included with the ANRAD application. Over here is where most of the wetlands were delineated. There were no wetlands delineated on this parcel. Just a few administrative comments. There was some information missing or needing more clarification, such as property owner information, documentation to support other methods for determining the BVW. There were no data forms or photos or any of that documentation included in the ANRAD, and just some check numbers and proof of submission to DEP. There were some plan items missing as well, and some more clarification needed, such as flag IDs from the delineation added to the plan. The investigation area should be clearly identified. The wetlands were only delineated on one portion of the property, so if wetlands are not included on the other parcel, it should be removed from the ANRAD application. There was a pond and a potential vernal pool that was not delineated. That should be as well. The buffer zones were not included on the plans and should be added for each wetland, both the Wetlands Protection Act buffer zones and the local bylaw buffer zones. And it just should be noted that the entire site is located within an outstanding resource water. So highlighted in yellow here, this is a MassGIS mapped potential vernal pool. It's sort of a ponded wetland system that was not flagged, but it is located on the parcel, so it should be flagged, and any vernal pool assessments or surveys that have been completed should be submitted to the commission for their review. So a field visit was conducted on June 5th, a couple weeks ago. And I'll just briefly go over the various wetlands. BVW A, isolated wetlands C and D. Weston and Sampson was in agreement with the placement of these flags. Similarly, wetland B, all of those flags were correct in the field. However, there was a gap between BVW A and B on the property, so that should just be clarified by the applicant if it's connected or if the wetlands do go off the property. There was a wetland identified on the plan as ditch wetland SD. Some additional information should be provided to the commission on the type of wetland, if it's bordering, isolated, or a stream. And BVWE, Weston and Sampson, was in agreement with the placement of those flags as well. So these are a little small, but these are just some representative photos during the site visit. BVW-A is in the top left. It's mostly dominated by cinnamon fern and sweet pepper bush. BVW-B in the top middle is a forested wetland. Isolated wetland C is this isolated depression you can see here. This is that ditch wetland that needs some more clarification on if it's bordering isolated or a stream. Isolated wetland D is located here. It's similar to isolated wetland C. It's a depression that had quite a bit of standing water in it. And BVWE is sort of a hard photo, but there's a culvert right here, and there was quite a bit of water in that as well. There were also a couple areas that were not delineated, but did have standing water, hydric soils, and hydric vegetation. So the applicant should assess these areas. It's to the north of the house up here, and also in between that potential vernal pool, and there's a small shed right here. And here are just some photos of those two areas that weren't delineated. You can see some water and cinnamon fern as well as sweet pepper bush in both of these photos. And I'll open it up to any questions from the commission.
Anyone have any questions?
Do you think any of those might qualify for isolated land subject to flooding?
I'm not sure they're big enough, but they would need the engineer to calculate the total area once it's delineated. Are you talking about the two isolated, those small wetlands? No, I don't think those are big enough. But there were two areas that weren't flagged that I think could potentially be big enough, so those should be
So if they
identified.
really didn't want to include them as part of this, they could change the plan and note that, right?
Those wetlands that they didn't delineate?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
question might come up, that's why.
Yeah, if they clearly mark what the ANRAD's covering, because right now it lists 2 parcels, but there aren't any wetlands delineated on one parcel, and they didn't delineate all the wetlands on the other parcel, so they should just clearly mark where
Yeah.
those wetlands are.
Yeah, I think my future questions are gonna end up being determined on the applicant's response to some of these comments are.
You said there was a culvert,
Yes.
and what's that drain, or where's it go?
It goes underneath the driveway, so it goes from BVWE into BVWA. It's that big, if I can get to it.
Came off the street drain, or?
Not that I noticed. It's, yeah, it looks like water, so this is BVWE, if you can see the mouse, I know it's small. So there is water in there that drains underneath this driveway into this large wetland system over here.
I think it is connected, street, something to do with the highway department, but
Okay.
that doesn't mean it's not jurisdictional yet.
Right.
No, I didn't know if it was just, like I say, under a driveway, or if it went elsewhere. Picked up water and carried it out, but
I think it meets the characteristics, it is under the driveway, but, yeah.
Yep.
That's one of the things, I mean, like the ditch that was created, it was probably them perking years ago, and it's developed, it's like a Woodbridge soil, right?
Yep, and it does look a little bit like an intermittent stream that drains into sort of a BVW,
Yeah,
but
typical of Dayton.
yes.
Thank you for reviewing that, I'm sure it was fun to walk through.
Yes, lots of spider webs.
Okay, now, we need a response from applicant.
Yep, so I think at this point, we did forward their report, and we're just waiting for them to reply to this, and we may need Weston to do
Okay.
more, it sounds like we're gonna need them to do more review.
Okay, now, this is being done because of property already built or to be built?
So I think they subdivided the lot before zoning, or they're, I don't know, that's a question for them, yeah. Did they get approval for the subdivision of the lot? Okay, so they subdivided the lot and they wanted to put a house on the, southern portion of the lot, is what I heard.
Okay,
But I
so
don't know.
this will identify
Right.
where they can or maybe where they can't.
And they also need a, I think they might be selling it too as well, and they need a septic repair. So it also helps them figure out the best place to do that repair.
And the existing house, if you can see the mouse, is sort of right there in the center of the property. So the wetlands are over here, a couple isolated here, and that ditch is sort of right behind the house.
And then in front of the house. I had gone out there and, if you look just north of the house, I don't know if that tree line is accurate, but yeah, right there is where they wanted to perk, and there's a wetland right there.
Yep, so that was one of the spots that I identified as should be evaluated further. And there was also some water, there's this barn right here. There's some water and wetland vegetation right there too.
I believe I saw some egg masses in it when we were out there. Yeah,
Oh.
Dave remembers.
It is mapped as a potential vernal pool on Mass GIS, but is not certified.
Okay. Accept the report from Weston and Sampson, and you're gonna, they already have a copy, the applicant has a copy of this, and is the applicant here tonight? Okay, we'll have to continue it until July 18.
Motion to continue to July 18th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Just a few minutes. Thanks.
All right, moving on.
Okay, we have a notice of intent application from NEPCO for V5, U5, and S8 115 kilovolt transmission lines assessed condition refurbishment project. The transmission line runs from Dayton Berkeley Town Line through to Dayton Swansea Town Line. The work falls within regulated wetland resource areas. File number 17498. Now, this is a project that we could not vote on last month because we did not have quorum. We had to have members excuse themselves until they filed with the Ethics Commission to show that they were not going to receive any rewards or whatever on this project. And
Well, I
Yeah,
guess
you're all set,
it's
and-
more that they would agree that they could review it without bias.
without bias, okay.
Because they're abutters. But Adam already presented everything, so if
Right.
no one else has any questions, I think we'll, unless Adam has new information.
Nothing new for me, no. So
Okay.
happy to answer questions for
Does-
folks that have them.
Anyone in the audience have questions for Adam on this transmission line project?
So it's a refurbishment of an existing transmission line in town. If you want to give a quick summary.
Sure. Basically, we have 3 circuits that are in the right of way today. 2 of them are supported by a single set of towers or structures that are lattice, and those are like a rectiset. They look like, like a steel monster, basically. And then the other S8 line is a single circuit supported by wooden H-frame structures. So the proposal is to replace the double circuited V5, V6 with steel monopole as well as the S8 line. So the lines will remain in their current location. They'll just be reconfigured to be on a different structure type. So these are steel monopoles. Some of them will be on concrete base on foundation. Others will be mostly directly embedded. And the plan is to reorient the S8 slightly. Right now the V5, V6 have like a longer span length. So the plan is to reorient the S8 to match that for efficiency for future maintenance and whatnot. So it does result in a slight reduction in the number of total structures within the town by, I think, 3. Work in wetlands will be completed using construction mat work pads and access on construction matting, which is all temporary. The project's roughly about a 4 to 5 year timeline. The plan is to start with the S8, which will happen later this fall. with probably some veg maintenance or mowing work later this summer. That will continue for about a year and a half. At that point, they'll move into the V5 and U6 construction, which is about another 2-year period. So all said and done, it's about 4 years. There will be a environmental monitor who will be tasked by the company with monitoring construction, looking at erosion and sediment controls for proper installation and maintenance. Will be on as the contracted environmental monitor, that's VHB, for the entire period of construction, as well as the veg prep, and then the restoration afterwards. So the plan is not to wait for the full end of 4 to 5 year construction for doing the restoration. It will be basically as it goes. So the plan is, once the S8 line's basically reconstructed, the temporary construction mat work pads will be pulled, those areas would be restored throughout. And then the V5V6, as they work their way from south to north, the plan will be to restore as you go. So where they can, they will, and the plan is to take care of that as soon as possible, basically. So it's kind of a nutshell version of what I gave last time, but happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
No. We have a motion to accept the project and issue an order of conditions.
Motion to approve the project and issue an order of conditions for the NEPCO transmission line asset refurbishment project, DEP file number 17-0498.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And this one will be issuing an order under both the Wetlands Protection Act and the local bylaw, which, I'm sorry, on 418, I forgot to mention it was only under the local bylaw, but going forward, we have to make sure we do 2 votes if it's 2 decisions.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have an order for the local bylaw then?
Yeah, under the local bylaw, yes, sir.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, for the Wetland Protection Act?
Mr. Chairman, I propose a motion to approve the, with the order of conditions for DEP 17-0498 under the Wetland Protection Act.
Second, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
We have 21 days to provide that to you, as you know. Do you want to pick it up or should we mail it?
We'll probably pick it up if you let us know. They're anxious for this one.
So by the 11th.
Okay.
And nobody's gonna be in much the week before, so we'll try to get it to you next week or the week of the 8th.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right?
let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
welcome.
Review, discuss, act on an NRAD application by Antonio Almeida, TNA Realty Trust, seeking confirmation of wetland resources at 0 William Street, map 20, map 21, lot 20, plan prepared by Riverhawk Environmental, Mass DEP 17-500, scope of peer review services received from Weston and Sampson. Okay, that was in the amount of $8,300.
So we, Weston and Sampson and I discussed this on the phone earlier. Megan, do you want to just give a brief summary of what we?
Yeah, so we conducted the site visit and provided the peer review letter back to the applicant. The applicant has requested that we meet with them in the field to adjust a couple of flag changes in one area. So I sent you that scope as well just before this meeting.
Oh, I didn't see it yet.
That's what it was.
Can you remember what it is? I can look if you need me
Not
to.
off the top of my head.
Let me see.
But that will,
Sir, you representing the applicant?
You don't need to
No,
forward it.
okay.
Next.
From Megan, who's sitting here, as discussed this morning, please find 2 proposals attached, Milk Street and 0 Williams, so let me pull up the 0 Williams.
Okay, do we have to vote on the amount, or?
Yeah, so for additional work, a field review with the applicant and the conservation agent, preparation of a memo of findings and attendance at 1 conservation commission meeting, the additional work for phase B of that, ANRAD is 1,920, right? Yep.
Okay, Lisa, so this peer review, has it concluded, or is it,
No, they need additional work. She reviewed it in the field.
Yeah.
Found some additional areas and some discrepancies. And, she's estimating the review be, the additional work be $1,920.
1,910,
20.
20?
So
And
we
so
look for a
was
motion
this
to
was
accept
one
the
that they
proposal as
submitted a
tabled.
revised plan for.
Okay, well,
They had it submitted.
Lisa, so we have to vote on this 1920,
It would be good.
okay, and then we'll continue it.
And now
Okay.
she hasn't done a presentation on it yet, so what we figured was there'll be one presentation next time. So there might be additional money in there that we'll give back.
Okay, we need a motion then to accept to vote to have an additional $1,920 to go into the 53G account.
So moved. Oop, sorry.
Second.
So moved, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now we need to continue the hearing until July 18.
Motion to continue until July 18th.
May I ask a question? I was curious exactly where 0 William Street is, because I'm a Hunter's Hill person.
Okay, so it's down, that way, it's, the Sousa house, and there's a big field in the back.
Is there that little, like, chain kind of thing that
Yeah.
access to that back farm field? Okay, that's kind of what I guessed.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry if it was the wrong
Oh,
time.
no, it's fine. But feel free to come to the next meeting, there'll be more discussion. July 18th, Thursday evening.
Okay, and at that time, we'll have the full presentation on it. And again, this is a wetland delineation, not what they're gonna do, not their project. Okay, next is,
Did we vote on the table or continue?
I thought we did.
No, I don't think, we got, we
So you
stopped.
kinda got stopped in the middle of it.
Okay,
Motion to continue until July 18th.
Good catch.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Next is to review, discuss, act on abbreviated notice of resource area delineation application from Tyler Rhine, seeking confirmation of wetland resources at 0 Oak Street, map 6, lot 9, 13, and 14A, file number 17-502. Proposal received from peer review from Weston and Sampson at $7,150, $7,150.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mark Bergeron. I'm a senior wetland scientist with Epsilon Associates. We're here tonight on behalf of the applicant to provide a brief overview of the project site and to open up this hearing for this ANRAD. The project site consists of 2 parcels off of Oak Street. It's about 37.6 acres. So you see the location. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Okay, would you turn it more to us, please?
I was trying to figure out placement. Is that okay? Good?
Can you see it, Jack? And
We
okay.
can move the podium back too.
Can do that?
Is that good? Oops,
Better?
sorry.
Okay. So the project site consists of 2 parcels, it's 37 acres approximately. The high school and the fields associated with the high school are here. This is an existing National Grid transmission corridor that comes up by the high school, and Oak Street is here to the south. So the first parcel has frontage on Oak Street, and then the second parcel, the larger parcel, is here. So VHB originally flagged these wetlands on this site in May of 2023. We were asked to get engaged on this project. We went out and confirmed, Epsilon Wetland Scientists confirmed and added some flags in May of this year, 2024. Essentially, existing wetlands on the site consist of 3 bordering vegetated wetlands. These are the green areas that you see here on the northwest corner of the site, the southwest corner of the site, and also, I guess, on the northeastern corner of the larger parcel here. They are all bordering intermittent stream systems. And in addition, there are 6 isolated vegetated wetlands on the property. 5 of them contain vernal pools as defined by the local bylaw. They're not certified. 3 of them are mapped in MassGIS as potential vernal pools. However, we did, because we were there in May, we did do vernal pool investigations. All 5 of the areas that we're showing, and you'll see the vernal pools are denoted with the blue, the depressions themselves within the larger isolated wetlands. We did find evidence of breeding obligate species in these, each of these 5 this spring, so they are certifiable, even though they're not certified, but under the local bylaw, they would be protected as vernal pools.
Where is Oak Street on this map?
Is here on the south, it kind of curls like an elbow right here.
Okay, all right, okay, no.
Do you guys want the paper copies of that, or you following along okay with
No,
that?
I can see that.
Okay.
I can see it.
So again, we've shown all of the appropriate local jurisdictional areas as far as setbacks on this map, and that's the extent of the wetland resource areas on site as per our professional judgment. The site is partially within an area mapped as an ORW for public water supply, the Somerset Reservoir. Yeah, again, we're not asking for any specific, jurisdictional determination on that. If and when there's a notice of intent filed, we'll have to consider that in any project that's designed on this, if it advances to a development stage. And at this point, we can just be happy to answer any questions now, and we're looking forward to working with Weston and Sampson through the peer review.
Have you done the review on this yet? No.
We haven't received the funds yet, correct?
Okay.
You're in the process of getting the 53G set up.
Yeah.
So it's,
Oh,
No, I didn't receive it yet, but yeah, we talked
okay.
about it.
Oh, did you provide a W-9 for the applicant? Perfect, thank you very much.
we'll have to find it. Did you turn it in upstairs? Okay,
Yeah, I've got it, nobody was downstairs, we've got it.
great.
We are in receipt.
I trust him with money.
I should actually also just note, there was a discussion on isolated land subject to flooding previously. We haven't done engineering calcs in these isolated vegetated wetlands, because we're not asking the commission to determine if they are ILSF or not. I think, it's really a moot point if we move forward to development, because the isolated vegetated wetlands and the vernal pools and the setbacks that the commission has in the local bylaw would be more restrictive than anything that we could do if it was isolated land subject to flooding under the state.
Okay, I guess at this time then, we will wait for the peer review to see how it comes through, and then get a definitive map of where, of the property and all the wetlands that have been agreed upon.
So, so I think you'll end up setting up the site visit with Megan and, Megan will set up a site visit, and then if needed, there'll be a follow-on to see if she has any concerns, and she'll let you know, and you guys can set up another site visit. But right now, could you guys just vote on that?
On the,
So the peer review,
Yeah, accepting the peer review and then continuing to July.
now, the funds, have they been agreed upon? They haven't
Yeah.
been,
and the
They
check
have-
was brought today, yep.
okay, all right, they did send the check, okay.
But you have to still vote on you didn't vote on it last meeting.
Okay, all right. Is there a motion then to accept the peer review fee at $71.50?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Did you say continue to
No,
July?
that'll be next month.
Next one.
Okay. Is there, Is there a motion to continue this hearing to July 18?
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mark, can you sign a continuance form for us while you're here?
Thanks.
Just for the file.
7:18.
okay, next on the agenda is a notice of intent application for Lee Castanetti of LBH Hunters Hill LLC for construction of a single-family home and associated grading and clearing at Lot R9 Hunters Hill, map 21, Lot R90. A portion of the work falls within the jurisdictional wetland area, file number 17505. Oh, you just got it in at the right time.
I got some intel that it might be a minute.
Awesome.
I was also sitting in the parking lot of the wrong town hall. If you don't recognize me, it's because I'm averse to public speaking, and Evan of W Engineering isn't here tonight.
Well, you're off to a great start.
Great, awesome. I love that there are 6 of these. That being said, would it be possible, I don't know if it's something you do here, but Evan did mention that we may be able to open the following, I guess, 6 hearings for all of Boxwood Lane at once, so that I could do an overview and then answer any questions, since they're all in the same street.
So I think we should, so you asked if we could just do an overview and then do the individuals?
Well, I heard that we may be able to open them all at once and then go through it.
Well, I
I
think,
don't mind either way.
I think the guys usually like to look at the plans as we go, so let's do one lot as.
Yeah, let's,
So we'll probably just do an overview of everything, since they're gonna be similar. I probably should have practiced with this first, but
okay.
I was hoping maybe someone would leave there or something.
How dare he go to Spain? So you're gonna start with 90, correct?
90.
Okay.
Now, Lisa,
Yeah.
has this area already been delineated in the
Yeah,
past?
so the whole Hunters Hill subdivision, was approved, the delineation was approved, was it a year ago, last year?
Overall Hunters Hill development, which has been amended over the years. And the overall plan had its own notice of intent, which was for the roadways, the infrastructure. Man, this is the most, and all the stormwater permitting happened at that point. So right now, on this plan, 90 is the first one that we opened with, which is this lot right here. This one right here. But Boxwood Lane and all the utilities, that would be part of the overall notice of intent. That's already been constructed, all the utilities are already in, the stubs are going out to each of the individual lots. So the next few filings that we're gonna go through are just for the houses on this little cul-de-sac within Hunters Hill development.
Okay, so this one right here, the proposed house is outside the 100-foot buffer zone. And what is your work going to be within the buffer zone?
So this one, we're going to maybe have, or actually, one of the things I wanted to go over, it looks like a big block, a big rectangle on the site. That's because we haven't chose the individual house designs, so all of the house designs will fit within that building envelope. That's why it's so square. So anything you see here, it's gonna be smaller than what's shown on the plan. It's gonna have bump outs and stuff, but this is the maximum extent practical. So we designed as as conservatively as we could to try to keep everything out. But on 90, the only things that are going to be in there is some minor grading in order to keep the water away from the house, and a roof infiltrator to make sure all of that roof water is going back in the ground.
Alright, so you're gonna be connected to a sewage treatment plant on all these.
No septic system, it's going straight to the utilities that are already laid in the street under a separate notice of intent. They're already there, the stubs are already there.
What about water? Oh, water.
Water also has stubs already to be hooked up into.
What is you have a box off the southwest corner of the property. There's a little box.
Roof drain.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right, it's okay, all right.
This is the 3 units, 1, 2, 3.
The tree line that you show on the proposed plans, is that the proposed tree line? It's not the existing?
It's not the existing, it's the
Right.
proposed tree line. And I think you went out with Lee to go.
I did, yeah, and that was the one lot we found chestnut trees.
Good size.
So we only found them right around the big clearing.
Mhm.
And I guess that would be the only concern that I would have, is that those chestnut trees be preserved if they can, because there's two of them, and if one of them goes, then they can't pollinate each other. And my chairman has a thing for chestnut trees.
We planted about 130 of them around town this year, and when you are exiting, you'll see 2 American chestnuts out here, and there's 6 more on the new town hall.
Well, good news is we don't have the engineer here. I'm the landscape architect, so I am tree saver. If we can,
He said the right word.
if we can, we will. I don't know if we could put that in the order of conditions, or if we could go tag them quick.
Yeah, tag them.
Once they figure out what the,
We
kind of tagged them when we were up there.
We tag, yeah, and there, we will say it.
tagged them.
One's right on the edge of the clearing line anyway, so it's very simple. One of them's in a little bit further, so it's not, neither one of them is an issue in terms of safety.
And if I see them in the next couple of weeks, I may take some blooms. They are blooming?
No.
No, they're not, because I would take some and spread the pollen on my trees out here for diversity.
Well, let's go through them and have public input.
Okay, in public input will be coming.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions on this lot. I don't know if anyone else does, at this point. Maybe we should just move one right after the other and then ask for public input at the end on any of them.
Yeah.
Okay, if we go to 503,
Right, I gotta pass that out to you, but, I don't know if these people can see which lot they're talking about, so.
so we just did this one right here.
right?
I don't know which 503 is. Do we have a lot number on that?
R83?
R83. Oh, so we're this one right here. And this one just clips the house envelope,
Okay, let me
conservatively.
pass that out to you guys.
Just clips the 100-foot buffer. But as I said, it may be smaller, but it won't be bigger.
So this one, is outside the 50-foot no build. It incorporates roof, infiltration trenches, correct?
Yes. No, that's not it. This is
So they might do a little bit.
We really gotta hear engineering individually, because she can't
Which
type
might not
minutes
even be
like
there.
that.
Okay, so, should we vote on each one individually then? Okay. In order to get proper minutes, Lisa said we should do each one, vote on each one, so I'll ask for public input on each one. Okay, we're going back to, lot R9.
90.
90.
Yep.
both numbers are
The
here.
limit of clearing on all these have been marked so that, in the field, and before building permits are issued, I'll make sure the erosion controls are up and the placards are up. But I
Okay.
just, the other one question I have would be, are you gonna do posts for
Yeah.
the placards?
As we discussed. yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any input from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Is there a special color ribbon that says this tree is to be saved? And if so, what color is it?
For right now, do you have a colored ribbon on this?
It's pink. I ripped it off the pink flagging for the limits of clearing and attached it to that.
Okay.
And I'm going back out tomorrow to mark it as a tree save. I'm gonna put a different color
Yeah,
ribbon on
put
it,
it
so I can discuss it without tree clearing.
So still pink or a different color?
No, yellow.
Yellow, okay. So it
I wanna make
sounds,
sure they differentiate from the limited clearing color.
right, because,
He understands it clearly.
so the pink is for the limited clearing
Limited
because of wetlands. The yellow, the yellow would be
Yellow
the
is to
thing
save the
in
two
front of that,
chestnut
if you
trees,
will,
correct.
yeah. So we're talking about the 2 chestnut trees, right, that are gonna be marked as
If
safe.
you find any others, you
I
know,
don't think I think that was,
I wasn't doing a big search, it was kind of hot.
Yeah,
After I was in the, I think it was like, I was in the field before that at Blue Wave, and it was like
What's the
going on
diameter?
3 hours.
what's the diameter?
yeah.
oh, they're very small.
Oh, so they're just coming up from old stumps.
They're probably
Could
about
be.
10 or 15 feet tall at the most.
Okay.
So there was concern within the neighborhood of those that already are residents, that there are quite a few mature trees of oaks and eastern white pines that, this is a really rich bird habitat for migratory and, shade, cooling from the shade trees and all that sort of thing. So we would implore you to, do the best that we can to not remove mature trees if at all possible. I mean, that some of the diameters.
We will write it up to do only what they have to.
Yeah, I mean, but, did you guys survey any of the large trees? Cause that could be something that we can ask for.
I already spoke to Kim about this earlier today. We have a very high water table on this site, so there's a significant amount of fill that's going to have to be imported around the homes. And as you know, you can't fill a tree base more than a foot, or you'll just kill it anyways. So we're not gonna remove trees for the sake of removing trees. It's just in the order of business. It's really,
Yeah.
it's all, there's nothing else we can do. So it's not going
The
out
limit
our
of,
radar. As you can see, there's areas where if you pull that
What
down.
we're saying is, you're not gonna clear right down to the,
No, as you can see, there's areas that we've gone out of
certainly
our
you
way.
can clear where the house is gonna be and
Right.
the driveway, but then,
But there's areas where we've gone in here to preserve in between the houses wherever it's practical.
yeah.
So again, as I said, we're not looking to go out of our way to purposely,
Yeah.
cut down trees that don't need to be removed. But it's just because, as you can see, the fill lines, it's
on a
just
couple, there's not fill on every single.
no,
one,
and
correct?
again, the ones that aren't, where we can, and there's no fill going on in here, we've,
Yeah.
made it a point to make sure that we're saving as many trees as possible.
And those will be marked with the yellow.
The limited clearing is marked, it won't clear beyond where we've marked the limited clearing.
It was just 2 trees on lot 90 that I found that
Right.
they were like key.
Particular trees, is chestnut trees, correct.
Yeah.
Cause like on lot like 82, 83, which is probably not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay,
till we get to
let's finish with 90. I think we're done with 90. Okay, do we have a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions?
Would you like separate motions for that, Mr. Chairman?
Do we need separate or just one motion?
Separate. The order would be under both the local and
Okay,
wetlands protection.
Propose a motion to close the hearing for lot R90.
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, to issue an order, okay, to close the hearing, and we have, issue the order of conditions.
I propose a motion to issue an order of conditions for lot R90 under the local bylaw.
All in favor?
Aye. I propose a motion to approve the order of conditions for lot R90 under the Wetland Protection Act.
All in favor? Okay, maybe for the next one, we can say to put them together, to issue separate order of conditions for the local and on the state.
Okay.
And that way, okay, let's go to lot R83.
This lot right here,
Oh, this is the, I've got the,
second one on the left.
82, that's 82. Oh, wait, that's lot,
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
this has got to be 83 here. 84, so that's got to be 83, yeah, okay.
this is 82 right here. Oh, yeah, so just next to the end of the public place.
Lisa, on that order of conditions, put in there that they will save the chestnut trees, American chestnuts. Okay,
So this is lot 83, and this one has, the building envelope just touches the 100-foot buffer. There's some slight grading just to make sure that all of the water gets away from the house. Again, we're connecting to existing sewer and water. And the limit of clearing is outside of the 50-foot DVW buffer.
it's 50 foot, okay. Okay. All right, so they're gonna need a 50 foot buffer. And,
Even though the yellow, excuse me, even though the yellow line of the 100-foot buffer is on the edge of that supposed square box, that could be changed a little bit, right?
It's not going to be farther,
Right. it's
closer to the wetland. It may be, it's going to be a different shape. There may be just a little jut out or something, because that's not the shape of the building. But
Right.
this is conservatively the most we'll,
Yes, it's not to exceed this size.
yes, unless something happens, then we'll come back. But I don't think, we were very conservative with our grading. I in particular like to keep grading nice and smooth so that when we put the grass seed down, it doesn't just wash out. We're not trying to get a 2-to-1 going, which is good to try to stay out of the buffer, but sometimes it's not the best thing to do.
Lisa, on the order of conditions, I guess for all of these, it'll be, house size will not exceed the,
Well, I think that's what they did. They put the maximum.
yeah, but this is, but I'm just saying to put that in the order of conditions, not to exceed the proposed house.
Right, and the infiltration, the stormwater design is based on the largest, right?
It is.
So it's over-designed a little bit?
That's what she's saying, but I'm just saying put that into the order of conditions.
Okay.
And we do have the dimensions on each plan of the maximum
Yeah,
outside, I guess it's the outside limit of all, because we just overlaid each of the house footprints to make sure that someone wouldn't select
Alright,
one over me.
anyone have any questions on lot 80? Anyone from the audience have questions on lot 83?
Yeah, I just wanna mention again that they're not chestnuts, but there's definitely 2 or 3 really nice mature trees that the diameter, we're talking eastern white pine and oak, and the diameters are like this, and they're like well over 100 feet tall, give or take. I'm not a good estimate, but you know what I mean, they're mature, you know, they're big, and this is a really special bird habitat as well as other wildlife. You know, we have got the Morgansburg ducks in the pond and all that jazz, so.
That's in the buffer zone. This area is in the buffer zone?
These trees are very close to the paved road, so I don't think it's close to the buffer zone.
Yeah. So no, it'll be outside the buffer zone. So it's kind of outside of our jurisdiction. We can't, our jurisdiction is only within 100 feet of the wetland.
Okay, so you guys don't really cover trees,
No,
you cover wetlands.
no, yeah.
Okay.
Only what's in the buffer zone, 100 feet.
So if there were
Chestnut trees.
And
those trees
So
are,
maybe we pretend it's a chestnut tree.
no, those were are in
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
is
really
there-
close to it.
Is there a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions?
So moved.
Okay, and to issue an order of conditions under the local bylaw and state law. So moved, okay. All in favor? Okay, lot, 8.
Was there an 8? Oh, it's this one here. It goes out of order. It goes 87 and then 8 and then 90. So this is right here on Boxwood Drive. And the only work that we're proposing within the 100-foot buffer is clearing so that they have a little bit of space between the trees and their house and the roof infiltrators.
So there's a 4-foot drop from the house down. Did anyone talk to DPW about these ones yet? No. So just so you know, because I know you're probably just gonna be going on with it, we're revising our bylaw to include, hopefully they'll vote to wanna include the DPW input, especially when it comes to like water being drained towards the street. So, I would say that, do you have any concerns about that, or it's a
No,
public
it's-
right of way, right, or is it private?
It's private.
Oh.
They're all private roads, but the drainage design has been done to accommodate all of
Okay.
that runoff into the streets.
Yeah, that's all I really need
Yeah.
to
And
know.
that one does have a catch basin
Okay.
right there at a little off the
Oh, yeah.
driveway.
Yeah, I see it. Very thorough, thank you.
Okay, existing sewer service. Any, public input on this lot?
So we're talking lot 8, correct?
That's lot 8.
Yeah, so the work within the 100-foot buffer zone is limited to clearing, around, let's see, 50 some odd feet within the 100-foot buffer.
So I don't have anything that delineates wetlands on my copy of a map. Is it quite a ways back from Boxwood?
Oh, you're
not towards
welcome
the
to
back line?
You're welcome to see it.
Oh, that'll be great, because I know that the folks that live right abutting that said that there's like major water, you know, especially in the spring.
So
So
the
where's the-
basin's down here. That lot with the chestnuts is over here.
Okay, right, and so
This
is,
is the second one in,
okay,
so
alright,
you
so.
wanna just point to it on there for
Yes,
us?
it's this one right here, and this is where the wetland is delineated.
Oh, yes, okay, that
And
makes
this is
sense.
50 and.
Gotcha, that makes sense with what I was told.
And then
Okay.
the buffer's 50-foot buffer zone and the 100-foot buffer zone. So the only work in that,
Do you have one of
There's
these
no house.
maps posted?
So the house is-
Do you have
is-
it posted
Yeah,
in the,
That's the house.
I'm gonna call it the
Right.
community game room?
okay.
I do not.
No, that might be something that you want to do.
We actually had a meeting with all the homeowners today, and the overall site plan was presented, so.
I just thought that would, people can go and look at it and, they can look at it, a map like this here, they would,
Shoot me an email too. The easiest way to do this is to send someone a PDF, and I think I added it onto the abutter notification because it's just so much easier than to get someone a whole copy. I'm like, just email me. I'll send it to you in 10 minutes.
That's a building in the development?
yeah. Yeah,
It isn't
they can have that map, people
That's
can go and
coming,
take a look
that's-
at it.
Well, we're talking about the community center.
Right, that's hopefully at the next meeting, we'll be
God,
presenting to.
community gamers, he said, don't let me in that building in town hall, I didn't know, it's not let me into that room.
Will you, if somebody like, any of the residents wanted a copy of that map,
Absolutely.
so what's your contact info? Do you have a little card you can get later?
Yes,
Okay.
I
That's
can.
why you want to put it in the game room, so you don't get people
They're
every day
W
asking for it.
Engineering out of Taunton.
W Engineering?
Yeah, and there's only 2 people there, which would be Julie,
Julie.
and Evan. So one of them will answer,
Thank you.
all right?
Yeah, but I'll put that in the list, that's great, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions under the local bylaw and DEP?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, now we have R84.
I'll take those back and I'll give you guys 84.
R84 is this lot right here at the beginning of the cul-de-sac. And on this plan, we show it just flips the 100-foot BBW boundary. There's no clearing within the 50-foot.
You got that other condition for some
And really minor grading within the backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, these can have the posts going in there.
Lisa, how far are you gonna have them,
Well, that should be determined by Evan and I. I think it should go right at the limit of disturbance, if you're okay with that.
Sure.
But,
yeah, and maybe every 25, 50 feet or 25 feet?
yeah,
something?
25
Yeah,
normally,
okay.
yeah.
I don't,
That'll be more.
does anyone here have any questions on this lot? Lot 84, the audience?
Will all of these that have any wetlands, which I guess they all do, end up with that black fence thing
No.
with the plastic?
We don't like
it's- Okay, because I saw that further down. So just ribbons, the ribbons that was the pink.
No.
We generally use compost filter socks.
Okay, so that's,
They look like snakes.
right, okay, so that will be on these
That's
lots
what we're
during
gonna-
construction.
Yep.
Gotcha, and then remove.
Until site stabilization, and then they come back to us, and they say, they provide us with an as-built, and they say, you know, if there was any deviations from the approved plan, at that time, we do a site visit, we check, we make sure everything's stable. So the grass is grown in, and there's no issues, and the placards are up, posts are up, and at that point, we sign off. If there's any issues or concerns, that would be, you know, brought up. And hopefully we can take care of all that ahead of time. I think Lee has an open line of communication. So far, we've had really good experiences working with Lee, so.
Okay, we're all set. Okay, is there a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions under the local bylaws and state law?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we're on the
You can get a piece of food,
You just had the icon.
Lot 82.
Trade you guys.
Lot 82 is this lot right here, it's the first one on the left as you're pulling up Foxway. This one is an RDA, which is a request for determination of applicability. Did I get that right, Lisa?
Yes.
I never did. The reason why this one is in a notice of intent like the others, Evan met with Lisa, and this one doesn't have anything proposed within, the building's not within the 100-foot. It's well outside of it. The only thing that's happening within the 100-foot buffer is some minor grading, so that when they walk out, they don't immediately fall down.
So minor clearing and grading, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're outside, basically I told him if you're gonna stay outside the 75 foot with any work, just file an RDA. I hope
Okay.
you guys agree with me on
Yeah,
that.
this is, looks like an insignificant.
Okay, ma'am, so before you ask a question, an RDA is request to determine applicability, which means they're saying, we're only gonna go in a couple of feet into the buffer zone. Do we have to file and pay money for this filing? And then we will either say, if it's a positive determination, it means they have to go and file and pay extra money. Or if we say it's so insignificant, they get a negative determination, which means they're done.
That means they don't have, there's no like conditions of approval.
Right. Right.
So, but, we will, there is erosion controls and they've provided them on the plan.
Okay, all right, I assume you're not gonna have any questions then with that. I'm assuming.
We'd like to right now.
Okay, what is your desire?
Minimal grade changes, say 131, 132,
Yeah,
so.
Lisa, in your opinion, you consider this to be minor?
negative, yeah. That would be a negative determination.
You want to entertain a motion, Mr. Chairman?
It's like, what, less than 20 square feet of clearing in the 100-foot buffer zone?
Yes.
It's like very small, so.
Okay, do I have a motion to issue a negative determination? To close the hearing and issue a negative determination?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Lot 85.
85 is this right here. Again, the building is outside of the 70 foot. And there's a little bit of grading within the 100 foot, but that's just to make sure that it's not so steep that it takes forever for the grass to grow in. Is this one right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm working on it, sir.
So there's a little bit more work in the buffer zone here, filling. Okay, here's a question. If, the house that goes in here, certainly it's not gonna fill that square. Would everything be pulled closer to the house so that there'd be less fill in that 100-foot area?
It's depending on whatever house is
Yeah, no,
chosen for that
no,
lot, we
that's-
certainly would move away from the wetlands as much as possible, yes.
Yeah, because right here you've got, well,
Well, you got about 3.5 feet to make up, Jim, so.
yeah, you
So
got,
even if they came up another 10 feet, it's still,
yeah, I'm just
Kinda
saying,
steep.
if the house is smaller, that, you know, they just pull that line up a little bit.
Yeah, but Jeff, what are you saying? Go ahead, finish.
well, no, I mean, like I say, even if you pull the house up some, you got 4 feet, but approximately, but, you know what I mean, it's still a minor slope.
Yeah, we'll still have the slope even if the house.
Yeah, no, I know.
If you move the
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
up halfway,
I
you're still gonna
understand.
have a slope, but, you know, like I say, with what's there.
It'd just be less work in the buffer,
minor
that's
grading,
all.
You're not trying
Yeah.
to make a 8 or 10 foot
Yeah.
cut, so,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no,
The work in the buffer is limited to this,
yeah,
though.
look, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
It's a little more than the other, but not excessive.
Yeah, it's only like approximately like a little over a third,
Yeah.
over in that one
Okay.
corner. The rest of it is, really minor.
So that's 100 feet, that's 50, so, yeah, so there's still 75 feet or more out of the wetlands.
Yeah.
So these are walkouts, you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that, anybody else have any questions or comments?
Doris, is that something we can condition if the house has ended up being smaller or, for the clearing?
I guess it could be written down that if the house is
Well,
small,
it's an RDA, so you really.
Oh, it's an RDA. Oh, got it, okay, got it.
Do you wanna, do you
just,
want
you know, if you write it up and,
I don't think it's quite that, I don't know if it's that significant.
it's
Yeah,
about
so-
10 feet, about 10 feet that you want to go to the buffer zone.
Yeah,
So-
Okay.
I'm okay.
And we're also, you know, per discussion now, that we're talking like putting the posts at the limit of clearing. So we're only into the buffer zone by, at the most, how much?
15 feet?
Yeah. Something like
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
so we're gonna have placards.
Yeah.
Normally, if it was a title lot,
do it there, yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Lisa, are you good with the negative determination?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions from the audience? Okay, I'm looking to close the hearing and issue a negative determination.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. You're done. I think you're done.
No,
No,
there's
it's
one more.
one more.
Best of last.
87?
One more NOI.
We had 6. We only had 6.
Sorry.
Oh, no, 87 we didn't end up doing anything because it's completely without outside the.
see that?
Yeah, we stayed out of that one, so I think we did.
Yeah, we got no 87 on that.
It's 6.
Yes.
Did we hit,
Six.
did Jack on 6 or 5?
We just acted on 6.
We did 6, yep, we did all
Four
6.
notice of intents and 2 RDAs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I put one away already.
Okay.
87 is outside.
Thank you, yes.
We did everyone.
I thought we had jumped over when we got to the request for determination.
So, I do have a question for you though. The community house on the corner is on the corner, correct? Right there? Is that, it's.
Oh, no, the model house right
Oh,
here.
the model
Yes.
house. That's completely outside of it.
Outside of
Okay.
Okay.
the,
You're good to go?
behind and across the street.
Great, yeah.
We're good to go?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Judy.
All my kids turn into treasure maps.
Okay,
I can write that down again.
I'm gonna go quickly with these for the certificate of compliances.
Yeah, we can take Greg first. Can we skip over to Greg? The first one's just not ready.
Which property is that?
Lewis Street?
Tremont Street. Tremont, you said? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to propose a motion to take the certificate of compliance for 635 Tremont Street out of order.
I don't think that's what she's looking at.
Lisa, did you want us to take Tremont Street out of order?
Yes, please.
Oh, so that's gonna come next.
Greg is here waiting patiently.
So we're skipping over Lewis Street.
Would you take it out of order yet?
Okay,
We just need a,
okay, a motion to, take 635 Tremont Street out of order.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Lisa, certificate of compliance for
Yeah.
635 Tremont Street.
Yeah, so Greg, do you want to listen to that? Okay. We have a single-family house that was built in 2008. Is that correct?
Yeah.
2008, an order was issued under DEP file number 0770249 to Mr. Kirsten, John Kirsten. Greg, do you want to just read the letter you submitted to us?
Just for the record, Greg Nichols, South Coast Engineering, and this is the request for a cert of compliance at 635 Tremont Street, DP file number SC 0170249. Okay, this project entailed the construction of a single-family dwelling within a 100-foot buffer zone to BVW. Total scope of the project is further detailed on the record plan, which is dated August 8, 2007, revised 2008, and on file at the Town of Dayton Conservation Commission. On May 31st, 2024, I inspected the site and found the work to be completed in accordance with the plans and original order of conditions. I prepared the attached as-built, which I just gave to the chair, plan with details and conditions on the site. And for this reason, I'm requesting that a certificate of compliance be issued for the project. Subsequent to this letter, we had a site visit with the agent and also Dave on site. And that's what I have, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
This,
So the only thing, was there's a deck that was built that wasn't part of it.
Yeah, there's a
But
deck that's abutting the house.
Is that outside the 100 foot?
I don't think it was. I think it's within the,
Okay,
just on the edge of it.
let's take a look at it.
um,
Oh, yeah, right here, I see it.
yeah, but I'm looking here. As I look at this here, I'm starting, on the little, locust map, 38-8-9, those are on the upslope of the hill?
Correct.
Okay, all right, no,
This is one of the small ones, the overall silver ones.
and, okay, there's two houses here, or one
No, just
house?
There's a vacant lot next to
Yeah, okay, all right, no, I'm with it now. I know, it's in this one right here, I believe.
it. Yes.
38.6, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, and then there's, I guess you have to go further down to pick up another house or two. They go way in the back. These here are here, here, and here.
And it's one way in the back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like your neighborhood, if I remember.
Yeah, and all this, right here is all conservation land right here.
It might be now at the time, I think it was back in industries when this thing was first done.
Well, this here, over here is conservation
behind you, I'm
land,
sorry,
and
yes,
this
yes,
here is, it's town of Dayton, but it's contiguous, it goes up to the landfill.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So Charlie had on the orders, placards, but they weren't up when I did the site visit, but Greg has put them up. And what he did was he put them on the tree line. Facing in, yeah. So I think that, the order should be issued.
This house is for sale now, am I correct?
It got-
Yeah,
It's gonna
okay.
be closed on tomorrow if we issue, well, I guess it's relying.
Yeah, I mean, they waited, 13 years.
Okay, all right. So, after the fact, certificate of compliance?
No, it's not after the fact.
Oh,
But, so Maureen drafted it, but there were just some changes I need to make to this. So I made the changes here that I'm gonna fix, if you guys just wanna sign.
Yeah, I'll sign the signature.
Okay.
and you can correct.
okay, so well, let's vote on it.
Lot number and book.
Okay, is there a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 635 Tremont Street, maps, file number 17-249?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sure they'll call me.
They wanna pick it up Monday, I'm assuming they don't want me to mail it.
Probably not.
Okay, after 10 on Monday, it should be ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go up to Lewis Street now?
Oh yeah, back on Lewis.
Town.
So at the last meeting, we heard the gentleman and looked at what was issued and approved by the commission, and then the as-built that was issued. And remember, we saw the pool, we saw clearing, we saw a shed, work in the 25-foot no-touch. So I've since sent an email to Proline, because remember, Mr. Barabee didn't come to the meeting. And I outlined that they needed to deal with these issues and provide some mitigation. So we're still waiting. We can probably take that off the agenda if I don't hear from them again at the next meeting. That just means that they haven't figured out
Okay,
what they're gonna do.
so,
Okay, motion to table, Mr. Chairman?
motion to table accepted, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, draft conservation bylaw changes. Okay. Lisa has given us,
Well, Maureen drafted them? There's a
Yeah,
binder.
I'm working on them, so the changes I'm making, I'm typing them directly into the other bylaws, and I'm just highlighting the changes. So I think this is kind of gonna be ongoing for a little bit, we still have more to add. That's that paper with the hole punch on the side.
Yeah, so just,
So we're still working on it.
it sounds like this agenda item might be more of a discussion, I'm thinking tonight.
Yes, go ahead.
But just to touch that off regarding the exemptions, I don't have anything specific to articulate in terms of language I'd propose for a bylaw, but I do definitely believe that it would make sense for us to consider adding provisions to the conservation bylaw to create exemptions at the local bylaw for things that are otherwise exempt from the Wetland Protection Act. I think that makes sense and is something to be worth considering.
So you guys have copies of what's in the Wetlands Protection Act I passed out? It says LC copy at the top, but now you can read through it and we can kind of talk about that at the next meeting. If you guys would please do that.
Okay, Lisa, this here is a printout with changes that you just gave me here.
No, this is the current exemptions, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see, I don't have.
Yeah, Maureen did that. We only have one copy.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
Sorry, I only did one.
Do you want to read the highlighted ones and the sections, Jim?
Okay, let me just, okay. Let me just read what's, the highlighted sections. A local fee of $50 made payable to Dayton Conservation Commission, Town of Dayton, is required for all filings in addition to the local portion set forth by DEP. That's a change.
But to the tax collector to be talking, does it have to be 50? Sounds good.
What is it?
I said, does it have to be 50?
Okay, any person filing a permit application with the commission shall provide a copy at the same time by certified mail, hand delivered, or electronically to the select board, planning board, board of health, building inspector, and DPW. And DPW is added in. Vernal pools and potential vernal pools should hold special protection and will have a mitigation corridor of at least 100 feet that will be left in its natural and undisturbed state. Unpaid enforcement fines will be attached on personal property in the form of a lien until paid.
So that is a local option of Mass General Law, so that we wouldn't necessarily have to adopt as an amendment to the conservation bylaw. So we already accepted the Mass General Law, I believe it's under Chapter 40, I forget which section, which allows us to lien municipal charges, fines, and fees onto the tax bill.
Yeah.
So what would happen is that any outstanding fines or fees can be liened under the actual billing for the tax bills, which are the ones that go out the last week of December. However, under Mass General Law, even though we adopted that specific provision, we have to have a separate vote at town meeting for every type of fine, fee, or charge to be liened in that way. So that could be simply a warrant article to put conservation wetland, wetland violation fines,
Yeah.
to allow that to be lienable. Currently, we do that for Title V betterments, we do it for demolition liens, and we do it for sewer liens. So those are the three that we've currently adopted at town meetings, so that we wouldn't necessarily have to amend the bylaw, we could just propose a warrant
Okay,
article.
here's something, even to add on to that, these funds will be put in a separate conservation account.
That, I love that idea.
And in a separate conservation account. So we would add on to that, that would be there, and so we would have state backing already on that, and these fines will be placed in a separate conservation account.
I'd even like to explore the idea of that being a revolving fund, because we may have certain other administrative expenses that arise due to a violation, such as constable fees.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair that we're paying constable fees out of our professional and technical budget.
And liability, legal.
We could do that out of here. Okay, Lisa, I thought there were several other things that we had besides these here.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. Did you just finish it today?
Yeah, I just worked on it today.
Okay, I thought there was more to it than, because I gave you a half dozen things anyway, and,
Fees, consultant schedule, consultant.
Oh, yeah, I called you, Lisa, I had a question about that. I don't know what you meant by that, so I didn't put it in yet, cause,
Okay, consultant schedule,
yeah.
this is Jim's.
I'm sorry?
That was this is your handwriting.
Yeah, oh, yes, okay. And, so what else is there? I just,
So when you said consultant fee schedule, what did you mean by that? You wanted the bylaw to include a consultant fee schedule,
so that,
so they have an idea what it's gonna cost, but it's hard to do that without less than it stamps.
okay, just cross that off then.
All right, let's cross that one.
Okay.
Because there was something that was in there, and it said, the fees, so much of the project, if the project is over $1 million, it can go, but
Based on estimated project cost?
well, let's just do it the way we're doing
All
it.
right, yeah, it seems to be going all right.
Yeah,
Setbacks, we have potential, vernal pools and potential vernal pools shall be held special attention.
right, we got that.
Okay, enforcement fines will be attached on personal property taxes, so they
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah,
Let's see, there are other things here.
okay, let's, for the next meeting,
Waiver of the 21-day period. Hold on one second. Let me read through these.
Maureen, whatever we come up with, and there'll be a couple of things, I just added that one item in.
Yep.
We'll have copies for everybody, even before the next meeting, so we can go over them individually and then as a group. And so I think if we get to vote on this by our August meeting, then it can go into any special town meeting after that.
Okay.
And,
Mr. Chairman, point of order. Bylaw, you're going to require 3 readings and an open, public hearing.
we need 3 meetings, 3 public meetings, okay. Okay, so.
One of them must include a public hearing, so the public can weigh in on any.
Okay, all right, so if we get it done for next month, and then, that could be one public reading.
I don't know that we will check.
Okay, well, let's say by August, so we have August, September, October, and then when would the, next, town meeting be, special town meeting?
October.
Okay, but early in the month or later in the month?
Usually, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Also, as long as, if we have these ready by August, we could make a recommendation and refer it to the Board of Selectmen, and then they could put it on their agenda and have that constitute one of the readings of the public hearing. Is that right?
Could do it that way.
Yeah, so that would double our,
Okay.
triple our frequency, because you'd have one conservation and then 2 Board of Selectmen meetings every month.
okay, all right. So for next month, we could get everything, and then if everyone's happy with what we have for next month, we'll get started, but let's not,
Keep it a work in progress.
it'll be a work in progress.
Yeah, one thing also is, I don't know if we wanna develop policies to go along with it. As if, they submit plans, it should do what's shown on the plan exactly, large trees in large diameter and 100-foot buffer zone. We could ask for highlighted plans. Some commissions require that we actually highlight it all so you can see it better. Specify exactly how many copies of paper, electronic, and what.
No, Lenny gave me this, or gave us all.
That's separate though, that.
Yeah, that would be, that would just be something more for information. Oh, don't we have to put in, do we have to put in, as a bylaw that an associate member, in the absence of a voting member may be called upon at,
Hold it in your hands, Chairman.
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Do you wanna read what he wrote? 'Cause that's a
That's
separate-
number 3, to serve as a voting commission officer should the board be unable to maintain a quorum for any reason at any time in a meeting.
But Lenny, you wanna read through these? These are separate to our bylaw changes, this is a separate bylaw, right? This is a completely separate bylaw.
Right, this would be a separate
Well,
item.
this could be added as a paragraph to the conservation
Okay,
bylaw.
cool.
Yeah,
Lenny, why don't you read it so we can consider it?
I think number 3 is probably,
Right, is the most important. To serve, an associate member is to serve as a voting commission officer should the board be unable to maintain a quorum for any reason at any point in a meeting. The chairperson of the Conservation Commission or the clerk, if the chairman is not present or should need to excuse himself, shall appoint the number of associates to commissioner voting status necessary to maintain a quorum for the business item or items under discussion at that point in the meeting. It should be stressed that the appointed associates must continue in the voting role throughout the deliberations of the issue or issues first brought before them, if said deliberations are continued to another meeting.
I,
I'm not to comply with the Mullen rule. Remember how you guys had a problem
yep.
with that?
Well, we had it last meeting too.
Yep. It's just because we all live on Main Street.
I don't live on Main Street.
Well,
I live on Center Street.
Yeah, well, you have land all over the place.
I don't own land, Jim, over there.
Okay. All right, Maureen, do you have that item? It's right here.
It's right here. We've got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yep.
all right. We got a couple of them.
So we could add, what section do you guys think that should go in?
Well, it would be in the beginning,
Okay, under, let's see,
Is there a
wouldn't
section
be
for
under purpose.
membership? Is there a section for membership in there? I know some of
We've
the.
got purpose, jurisdiction, application permits, and requests for determinations. We have notices and hearings, coordinations with other boards, permits and conditions, setbacks, regulations, and definitions.
Can we add in membership?
Something we could do if the board, if the commission decided that it wanted to move forward with this, at one of our next meetings,
And enforcement.
we could do something to the effect of, adding a section for membership and then just memorialize the number of commissioners that we currently have and how they'll have a chairman
what,
reorganize. it.
okay, now what's numbers,
And then define
Well,
the
there's
associate commissioner role,
enforcement
the
is-
subsection of that.
yeah,
Enforcement is section X, burden of proof of section 11, section 12 is appeals, section 13 relationship to the Wetlands Protection Act, and section
Okay,
14 severability.
okay, how about if we just have, a section called, membership, and then we put that the commission will consist of 5, members, 5 members appointed by the selectmen. In addition to the 5 voting members, there will be, and that's where the associate members come in. And I think that would cover everything that we need.
At the Board of Selectmen meeting, there was a little confusion as to the number of associates allowed.
Okay, we don't have a limit.
There is none. Okay.
There is no limit.
Should that be memorialized or spelled out?
What do you think? Should we have a limit on the number of associate members? I look at it, as associate members are learning the trade, so to speak. And we never know when a regular member is going to resign or fade away, that, you know, to have someone come in and just fall into the position is so necessary. I mean, because we've gone at times with 3 members for several months, and that's not good. You know, we saw what happened when Forest Hill, when membership was sparse, and we had to have a special meeting, reopen the hearing, and it really was a problem. Do you want to limit it to a certain number, let's say 3? The limit of associate members will be limited to 3?
3 is good. It gives us a total of 8, right? I think that's plenty.
Yeah, you know, and, you know, if someone doesn't come in for a particular meeting,
Well, the Mullins rule allows you to miss up to 1, right? And then you just have to, you have to put into writing and memorialize that you have reviewed all the materials that were
Yeah.
discussed at
Correct.
the meeting that you missed.
That's exactly what we had to do.
So I don't know if I support this yet. If there's going to be a vacancy for a prolonged period of time that would go beyond the Mullins rule, that could make sense. But at the same time, when the Mullins rule allows you to miss up to 1, and as you said, the role of the associate commissioner is to kind of be a learning position.
but if the person is here for that time, they could be used as the membership as needed. They could be a vote for, to keep things moving with that application.
And so then I guess my next question would be, if somebody did miss 1 meeting and there was no quorum, and then the associate member were to be elevated to a full commissioner, presumably would the other commissioner, once they come back, say they just had the flu or something like that, are they going to be recused in perpetuity for the whole duration?
No, it would just be that one,
But now you've got a 6-person commission.
one applicant, you know. You know, I mean, we get some of these that are continued for so long.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, I'm just saying that,
Yeah, no, I know, I understand what you're saying.
This is good discussion, because we're gonna go through the other stuff, and we'll take care of it next month. And
But I think,
tweak it a little bit
I think
where
it's good.
comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's very necessary to have associate members, but, okay, so we have 2 now.
because you could say that if they become a voting commissioner and then the other commissioner returns, and then they're both going to be voting, the question becomes.
The person who, let's see, that's if a quorum is needed.
Right, so let's say that, 3 of us get the flu,
Yeah.
and we miss a meeting, and then we elevate both associate commissioners.
Yeah.
And then the next meeting, we come back, so now do we have all 7 people voting, or are the commissioners who were sick and are now returned recused from that filing in perpetuity throughout the whole duration of it?
No, I think it would just be on that particular, application.
Right.
You know, because we're gonna, like, we closed a lot of we closed 6 items today right here. 6. We closed a couple certificate of compliances. We did, you know, I mean, those are wiped off the board. So, there was a hearing, and if someone wasn't here to hear, you know, one of the other applicants, one of the other applications here, a person, and there was no vote on it, the person could just pick up on it, the irregular membership.
Right,
It's
'cause-
really for that specific voting on that item.
Oh, because I was reading this where it says, the last line of this one says, it should be stressed that the appointed associates must continue in the voting role throughout the deliberations of the issue or issues first brought before them, if said deliberations are continued to another meeting.
For that item, yes, for that item. Not for everything on the agenda.
No, I mean, like, just as an example, we had some that were continued.
Right.
So if a commissioner who had been previously a voting member, had been previously involved in that filing, and then misses one meeting, and then the associate commissioner votes, and even if it's just a vote to
Okay,
continue
but if
to
it's
the next meeting-
continued, if it's continued,
For continuance, there wasn't anything that happened, so.
right, if it was continued, if the voting was to continue it,
right.
then the commissioner would then take over again.
So I guess I'm just a little confused on the language of the last sentence, and, Lenny, if you could
Okay.
clarify, then I'd be grateful.
All right,
so
let's-
Was your intention in this that,
It would only be if there was a need for a quorum, and it would be
Okay.
a specific issue in which a vote or deliberations were going to take place,
oh, yeah.
Like last meeting,
like last meeting.
3 of us had to recuse ourselves.
So now they
If
couldn't,
he's
you
here
couldn't
and the other
conduct.
guy's here, they can vote on that. New England Power goes on their way, end of story. Now we come back and they're back to associates.
And then they go back to associates.
That's all it
Okay, so
is.
Okay.
I guess if we could just memorialize that with language that's a little more explicit in the last sentence, I'd feel a little better about that. Because I guess that would be, my concern would be if, say you've got a hearing that's been going on for a couple of years, and somebody's been participating and then misses a meeting, and there's a quorum issue, and then you appointed a associate to come in, that associate would not be voting again the following meeting if it were to continue, and that other commissioner were to return. Does that make sense? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
because it's only a continuation. You know what I mean?
The Mullen Rule, if you don't have to be present for every meeting or every discussion, deliberation,
Right, you can miss one public hearing as
Okay,
long as you sign
so-
something stating that you reviewed the materials from the public meeting that you missed.
so that rule would decrease the need for an associate, other than to get through the
But
deliberation,
you need
the
enough
decision.
people to vote to continue the hearing, and, you know, and, like, for example, here, we have one here, where they're gonna continue it because we need, information from, Weston and Sampson. So that person would be there to vote to continue it, in the absence of enough commissioners. And then the regular commissioner would fill in and hear the results.
I'm sorry, Lisa, did you?
Dave, I think, was concerned that we're spending too much time talking about this. Maybe
I
Maybe
think we're
Jim-
here till the next meeting.
Well-
We have enough to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just be a motion to take under advisement and table for July?
Okay, well, let us get a
Jim,
printout of
have
what
an
we have.
individual conversation with Lenny if you could, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, would you mind? After the meeting.
Right now, I'm going to take it a step further, if he doesn't
Okay,
ask of a way to help me.
then let us, we'll continue it, we'll have Maureen print it up, we'll all get a copy of what's there, and we can handwrite in something that we think will improve it. Okay, let's go on to draft coordination between Town Permitting Authority and projects issued by Weston and Sampson. Lisa, you want to weigh in on that?
I don't have anything new, but I know with the resignation of the town administrator that it would be good to keep the ball rolling on this, because this
Yep.
is a concern, and as I mentioned to a couple of you, I feel like we need to, you know, try to improve the process in any
Yeah.
way we can.
So we, at our last meeting, I believe, we approved the preliminary review form and sent a letter to the Board of Selectmen requesting they put it on the agenda. During the transition, I'll follow up with Leanne on Monday and just confirm if it's gonna be on the agenda for Monday. And,
The agenda for the Board of Selectmen. for
exactly,
when?
yep, exactly.
So, yeah, if any of you are available Wednesday night, although we would need to know who would be, how many would be coming, so we wouldn't have a quorum, right?
I would say, yeah, it'd be best to avoid a quorum if we're gonna be,
So who will be there? I'll try to be there Wednesday night. If they are putting us on the agenda, I'd like to be there, at least via Zoom, if not in person. But would any of you be there?
I'll be there.
Wednesday,
usually-
I have
usually
no,
at the
I'd
office
have to
anyway.
look it up, but,
I just don't wanna have 3 or more. Paul, you gonna be there?
what I'll have to double check my schedule. So what I'll do is I'll follow up with Leanne on Monday. I'll
Okay.
confirm if it's on the agenda, and then I can email you. I'll let you know at that time as well if I'm able to attend the meeting. And then if you wanted to reach out to the rest of the commission and then see who planned to go, and then if we run into a quorum issue, just communicate that to me and we can draw straws and see who stays on.
Yeah. The week of the 4th, I wouldn't be available, so if they're gonna have a meeting, it would either be preferable for me would be next week or the week after I'm back, which would be the, week of the 8th, I believe,
okay, all right.
something like that.
Is there a motion to pay all bills received?
Motion to pay the vendor and payroll, expenses that have come in since our last meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass these over, please. Okay, updates,
Can we skip around to public input, because I know we have at least one person here for public input.
Mr. Chairman, I would propose a motion to take public input out of order.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think that's you, Mr. McKeon.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
To the mic, please.
Brings back memories, right?
Looks like you've been getting too much sun.
Thanks for having me and taking me out of order. Bill McKeon, 2308 Pleasant Street, and this is regarding property that's opposite, which is the wharf on the Taunton River. You can see the wharf in the picture frame in the lower left corner, and that picture I can tell was taken more than 30 years ago because some of the work that I had done to the wharf is not reflected in that picture, and I had come before this commission for an order of conditions and also a Chapter 91 license from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Division of Waterways. So I'm here for two reasons tonight. One is to do what I would call regular maintenance, regular ongoing maintenance to the wharf. It is a rectangular wharf that goes out into the river with vertical walls, which are subject to erosion when the river rises and actually covers over the wharf so that you can't even see it. And I believe that happened 4 times this past winter, which is unusual. The first 10 years that we owned the property, and we've been there for 40 years, the wharf never was submerged, and now it seems to be becoming submerged more regularly. So I asked Ms. Caledonia to come out, who came this week. We walked the perimeter of the wharf, and you can see the eroded areas. And my intention there is to maintain it by bringing in some fill, which would be like loose gravel, covered over with loam, and then grass seeded and watered to hold it in place. I would be putting back some of the stones that have fallen into the river. I pointed out some of them to Ms. Caledonia. The tide was low enough to see some of them. And in other places, I have some extra stone wall pieces out in the backyard I'll just bring down. I would remind the board that I came before the board, I believe 20 years ago, for a informational meeting to explain this exact kind of work that I was intending to do, and was permitted by the board to go forward. That's confirmed in a letter that should be in your file regarding that meeting. And since that time, even though I've had the permission to go forward and do it, I've always called and let the commission know in advance if I was going to do work, because if someone drives by and sees a truck delivering some fill, or me working in the water, that, you know, it's just a heads up type thing. So that's the first order. I think I actually, as of right, under both my Chapter 91 license and my order of conditions, I'm actually required to maintain the wharf, and that's exactly what I'm doing. The second thing I'm here about is, you can actually see it in that photograph, but there's a small garden bed in the grassed area of the wharf. It's above the tide, it's above the beach. There is a stone wall that separates this garden bed from the beach area. And it was there when we bought the house. We've maintained it. There's been all kinds of perennials in there. It's a semicircle, it's an arc. It's about 10 feet wide, and from the back to the farthest part of the arc is only about 4 feet. And if you look, you can see there's a wooden sign there that says ferry landing, because the wharf used to be the ferry landing for the ferry between Dayton and Berkeley. Well, what has happened recently is the Phragmite from the beach has crept up into the garden bed, and you simply cannot pull it out. It's invaded the garden bed. And what I would like to do is to be able to remove the Phragmite from the garden bed, together with all the perennial flowers that are there in that semicircle area, not going over the wall into the beach area, refill it with loam or garden soil material, and probably just put a couple of bushes in there, beach plums. I spoke with Miss Caledonia about that. I've spoken by phone with Mr. Digits about it. Both recommended that I come before the commission just to explain this work, and there would be no work done on the beach area at all. And that's what I'd like to do.
When you put the stones back into place, will you cement them to make sure they stay?
No, there's only one place where cement was used a long time ago, but no, we just vertically place one on top of another. There's no binding agent that I use.
Okay. I don't
Mr.
have,
Chairman, you have your opinion on it?
I don't have any objection to any of this work being done. And, you know, Phragmites, like you say, the roots are mighty, mighty tough, and you're going to get them all. And if you have to do anything to make sure they're gone, use a hand sprayer rather than someone coming in.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. What do you?
I hope not to have to do that.
Yeah, no, because it's waterway. I know. I understand that.
But on the other side of the wall, some people in the area, I think it's okay to do so, is to trim or cut the Phragmite, not to affect the roots, but to just like
But
with
they're
a
just
hedge
going to
trimmer.
come back up.
Yes,
Right, yeah, trimming.
and that is somewhat effective. We've never done that on our property or on the beach area, but it's been done in the general neighborhood, and I think that's been without objection from this commission.
Lisa, did you have any thoughts you wanted to share?
So because we've allowed it in the past, I would say, as long as there's erosion controls up and they're installed properly and I inspect them prior to, I would say we're gonna allow him to do the work in the existing lawn, or what used to be lawn, up to the stone wall, with no work down on the bank. But if it hadn't been allowed in the past, I would say, you know, digging and in the flood zone,
Yeah.
riverfront.
Yeah, but it's been done, it may as well be maintained
Yeah.
correctly.
If you did this on, I'm talking about what you're going to, you know, dig the Phragmites out on an in-between tide to make sure, and I say in between moon, so to make sure you don't get you don't want that August moon, because August is a real high tide. So you don't want
If I may
anything.
say, typically, during normal tides, the tide comes up nowhere near this garden bed that I'm speaking
Yeah,
about.
okay.
It's way up,
Oh,
much
okay,
closer
all
to
right.
Pleasant Street than it is to the river.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a part of the lawn.
Okay, all right. I mean, I don't have any objection to it, to him doing the work
No,
as stated.
Are we okay with this meeting kind of constituting just?
Yeah, well, he,
Would it be better to? would you
it's
like to see it?
it's a continued, process of restoration, the wharf and everything else, and as far as the invasive species, I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, so no motion required in your opinion?
I don't think so. I think it's just informative but Lisa has said that it would be good to put up some barriers, so in case we do get a storm, you don't get washed out into the river.
Yes, I've spoken with Ms. Caledonia about erosion barriers, the specific kinds that she would like to have me use, and the exact location. And it's certainly willing to get those, put them in place, and if she'd like to come down and take a look, we'll wait until after she gives her.
Yeah, I'm down there
approval.
by the river often enough, you know.
Yeah, Jim can always do the inspection. I'm gonna be away the week of the 4th, but
I don't envision it happening within a week or so, but maybe in the
It won't take you long
month
to
or
do
so.
that. Make sure you put those rocks in at low tide, not at high tide.
yeah, he's gonna remove them, but with a wheelbarrow, there's no machinery going in there, correct?
There's no machinery going down onto the beach for the rocks. Hopefully I can get some young men to, high school kids to help out.
Yeah, no, sounds good to me.
Okay, Jack, you all set with this?
Yeah.
Okay, I am,
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you, Mr. McKeon.
Thank you very much for taking me out of order and for your time tonight. Thank you all. Nice to see you again.
All right.
Take care. Anyone else here for public input? Go ahead, state your name for the record.
Oh, would you please be kind enough to do it the microphone for cable? Thank you very much.
My name is Ruth Sarah, and I live at 890 Oak Street, and I came because of the notice we had gotten regarding the battery storage project. And I keep missing catching someone, the agent at the office, so finally I'm gonna come and do that. And I realized that you have not reviewed the plans, but I wanna say I've got some real concerns about the way that things are presented in the document.
I wish you spoke up during the hearing, because we really can't discuss it now.
No, my comment really is that I'd like to, if you do a field visit and look at things that, I'd like to go on that visit with you, so.
That's more Weston and Sampson. It won't be me. I'm part-time with the town, so I
Okay.
could never go to all these big sites.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, just,
As
it's,
far as the batteries, that has nothing to do with us.
well.
no, I know that, but
Yeah,
all
it's
of the
just-
project delineations are set up for the project. So if they're inaccurately presented, then it snowballs into the project. They're proposing the project on highland
Well,
with wetlands.
they haven't proposed anything to us yet.
No, I realize that, I know that this is the delineation process, but I guess what I'm saying is, and I understand the whole mechanics of this. It's just more of a heads up
Yep.
that I don't know if, I've seen the surveyors out there, BSC has been out there,
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Weston and Sampson does a very thorough review, I will tell you.
Yep.
I can't guarantee I'm gonna be there. If you wanted to be present at part of the site visit, or,
Yep,
I would say reach out. Did you have your abutters notice?
yes,
And on that is the representative, which I believe is Mark Bergeron.
okay, he was here.
Yeah.
And I've actually had a couple of conversations with the project manager who was also here this evening.
Yeah.
So,
So I think if, you'd have to get permission from them to walk
Yeah.
on the property and all that. But I think it might be doable, but I don't know if you'd wanna spend as much time as we would be, or they would be spending in the field, but.
I
Another
am now
option-
retired, so I have lots of time on my hands. And my husband's retired, that gives me lots of reasons.
Associate member.
Associate member.
And,
We're stacking it up.
Lisa, we haven't had the public hearing for the actual project itself, right?
We did open it, the Oak Street one tonight.
Right, so we haven't closed it though, right?
No.
Yeah.
Because
So-
Weston and Sampson is still gonna.
So,
They
if
just
there were
provided the
specific
check.
concerns that wanted to be articulated, as a commission, it's tough for us to really consider them right now, 'cause the public,
Yeah.
you know, we're not in public hearing. However, that said, I think it would be, you know, procedurally fine if she wanted to submit those concerns in writing as
Yeah.
correspondence, which we could then incorporate into the public meeting when it does take place.
If you didn't wanna do it in writing, at least come to the next meeting and state them for the record.
Sure, I mean, at a minimum, I would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't have any issue with doing this, retired, but I was director of park improvements for
Oh,
the
yeah.
DCR.
Oh, no
So,
kidding.
yeah, so, I mean, we worked in the wetlands all the time, usually in the developer's role, but nonetheless. But it's just, it's concerning to me, the dimensions they're stating in one area, and it doesn't hold true
Do you
when
have a
you're out
copy
there.
of the plan?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I have I have their preliminary PowerPoint,
okay.
which they gave me. I have topography plans, but I also have so I've been at our home for 35 years. Back when we bought it, it was an outdated subdivision plan. The subdivision plan from that, the 70s, shows drainage easements. They said there's no brook, there's no waterway out there. There's a head wall.
Megan will find it,
There's a head wall out there.
but we'll make sure we
Yeah,
don't close without figuring that out.
yeah, and I can't remember where it is, and I know this is part of the project. Is both, I remember when my kids were younger, they found in the woods somewhere, there's a grave out there. And the Cooks also, she mentioned it to me too, she's like, do you know where it is? I'm like, I probably did it one time, because the kids are kids, and, make sure they're not fooling around, but that kind of thing, I know they've done historic resource surveys out there and all that. So some concerns. I'm not saying I'm against the project or anything like that, I just want it to be fairly represented.
Okay, I mean, other people have weighed in on it, and I'm going to kind of, you do it in writing, I
one's
get it,
weighed in
and,
yet.
and we're gonna
No one's
move on,
weighed
because
in yet.
we
This
only
is-
have about a half
Right.
hour left.
This is Oak Street. No one's weighed in on this yet. We just opened the public hearing tonight. Maynard Lane is what you're thinking of.
Oh,
We
okay.
appreciate the input, and please come to the July 18th meeting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay?
please, either delivered in person or via correspondence, whatever we can enter to the
Yeah,
record,
yeah,
make
I
sure
mean,
the
we're-
concerns are represented.
Hopefully,
Okay, all right.
so, but thank you for hearing me out, and I
you.
Okay,
appreciate
all
your
right.
time and.
All right, I have
We
the
appreciate yours. Thanks for
wrong
coming down.
location, okay.
All right. You want to state your name for her, please?
Ruth, I got your name. Do you have an email address you could give me, and then I can send you the agenda?
Okay, Lisa, what do you want, next? We got County Street, we're gonna deal with County Street?
No, we're gonna talk about that at the next meeting.
Okay.
April and I sat down, and
Yeah.
Dave sat down with Mr. D'Souza, and we agreed to talk about it at the next meeting. They're gonna make some revisions.
I believe that was a pretty productive meeting,
I hope so,
let's hope it goes,
so, yeah.
keeps moving.
Do you wanna just
Positively.
go down the list?
Horton Street?
Yeah, map 10, lot 53. I did receive an email from Mr. Buffington, and I forwarded it to you all. It looks like there's some unpaid back taxes. So now that's purchases on hold.
Okay,
I would say at this point, we may be threatened to start instituting new additional fines if we don't receive some sort of, to the owner.
okay, if we send a letter to the owner, not Mr. Buffington.
Right.
That if appropriate action, and we won't say what appropriate action is, he'll know it, is not taken place, fines will be issued on your behalf.
Fines will be reinstated. How about that?
Okay,
By what date?
make it for July 10th, or make it soon.
Okay.
And so that way we'll have action for our 18th meeting, we'll know. And then we can start issuing them.
Okay.
Okay.
1420 William Street, there's no update. We sent that letter in May to the owner. 1033 Oak Street, W Engineering was hired for mitigation for that unpermitted garage. The mitigation plan was received by the commission tonight. I haven't had a chance to look at it, obviously, but I hope that'll be on the next meeting. Next.
Okay, Morris Lane?
Yeah, 1 Maris Lane. Well, Dave, do you wanna?
Yeah, we got, Patricia sent pictures today, saw them, and, the girl from,
Natural Heritage.
Natural Heritage,
Yeah,
sent an email, so she's all set with,
she can plant, yeah, she planted already, but she wanted to add some more rhododendrons. She planted all native species.
Okay, so can we just take her off the list for the future?
Well,
pictures look good.
I gotta follow up in the fall, so,
Okay,
okay?
is across the street from, I guess it's 4 Maris Lane, that big hole in it.
14,
No, nothing yet. Well, okay, I think that was being taken care of by others.
they haven't contacted me again.
Okay,
2097
2097 Wheeler,
Yeah, haven't heard back from Mr. Pimentel. Nothing.
1334 Tremont,
I believe he called me this evening, right before the meeting, but I did not get his call. I don't know what he said. So, but he was asked to come to tonight's meeting. I can't take everybody's calls. I'm just gonna follow up with the neighbor to see if the vernal pools come back.
okay,
The house
20,
has been sold. Go ahead.
yes, and they were watering their lawn yesterday, which is, I guess, gonna be growing nicely.
Looking better, stabilizing.
Yeah.
Much better.
24, 70 Pleasant Street.
Yep, so, map 20 lot 55, the previous filling made to this wetland on the property. We suggested they hire a surveyor, remove the fill and allow wetlands to go back in. We requested the attendance of the meeting. I did get, an email asking if they could have a consultant, they requested a consultants list and asked if maybe we should put the site visit off. That was from the father. The son who owns the property said, could you guys please just plan to come? Gave me some dates. Looks like the better date for me is July 10th. Is anyone available on July 10th, say at 2:30 in the afternoon?
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Be available.
Well, when we get closer, I mean, we're talking, that's almost 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
I have no idea
What
what,
if we made it earlier in the morning? Would it have to be really early? Or could you take time?
I could.
It's light around 4:30 in the morning. Well, you said early, so I'm just letting you know when the sun's up.
I could probably do around 8 or 9.
Okay.
Do you want to follow up on Monday and I'll be able to confirm?
Yeah.
That's.
So maybe 9? Can we try for 9 and I'll follow up?
Yeah,
All right.
just follow up with me. I definitely can't do afternoon between.
and that's
9 o'clock's coffee break.
and that's Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
710 Center Street.
Yeah, so that violation was cutting and clearing on the conservation restriction land in the buffer zone to a vernal pool. I left a voicemail for Natural Heritage after talking with Jack, who talked with the individual. Seems a little timid to deal with it, so I'm willing to try to you know, get the ball rolling on that.
880 Hart Street.
Yeah, so after our last meeting, we signed the enforcement order on May 30th at the last meeting, and we requested the owner attend the meeting. I know he stopped by and spoke with Dave. Dave, do you have anything to report?
No, he, was supposed to be here, he said he was gonna be here.
That's about 3 people that were supposed to be here that didn't. 1070 Smith Street.
Yeah, so they sent us an email today, but let me back up. We provided them with consultant list. Let me look when that was, so I want it on the record here. 1 second. So around June 3rd, we provided it in an email, and we asked for an update on June 20th today. We got a response from the owner, Nina Morrow. We are currently working on finishing the interior of the house and moving my son in, so we have not started looking into this list. We are leaving on vacation, so we will probably have to get a consult when we get back, which will be the middle of July. Thank you. So I don't feel like we're really being taken serious on it, and I was told by one of the neighbors in the area that they are continuing to operate equipment out there. I haven't looked. That was just a conversation I had yesterday, so I will try to look into that a little bit.
Yeah, if we could ask if they can just notify us when they see the equipment, and then maybe we can go from there.
Was that the property, I had been up to some property on Smith Street, this was 4 or 5 months ago.
Right, it's not the same property.
Oh,
I know
okay,
which
so
one
I was
you're
gonna
talking
say,
about.
there was no wetlands on that property.
No, this is the corner of Smith and
Corner,
Horton.
Smith and Horton.
There's wetlands around the property,
Okay,
you know, down that end near Pavo.
yeah, okay,
Well, where Pavo used to be.
okay.
I do have one item for the public record, actually 2 items for public record. One is Blue Wave has requested a certificate of compliance for Tremont Street. Mr. Cabral had contacted me a few weeks ago. He's the farmer over there, and he wanted to start tilling, because you know it's a dual-use solar project.
Yeah,
Don't have the order of conditions number at the top of my head or anything.
that's okay, well, just tell us what he wants. I mean, he's gonna farm under the solar panels.
Well, he asked to remove the erosion controls. This is DEP file number 0170432. So I told them they needed to submit an as-built and a request certificate of compliance. I did a site visit with their engineer and their erosion control specialist from Mill Creek, and Nancy Goulat, in the 94-degree weather on Tuesday, which we made it through in an hour and a half. It was a good site visit. I'm feeling good about the property. However, when I was discussing projects with Weston and Sampson today, it dawned on me that when we give a certificate of compliance, we also providing them with assurance that their stormwater is, their permanent stormwater management is in compliance. I don't feel confident giving them that okay without another consultant like peer review, Weston and Sampson, looking at it. So just consider that for, maybe we get them all ready.
That project, Lisa, our only jurisdiction was out in the back corner.
Right, and there's a weir out there now. There was.
Yeah, but this whole thing, every time that gets out of control and comes across Middle Street and down Tremont Street, everybody's on our case. That's not us.
No.
That's stormwater.
Oh, well, let's back up. There's 3 stormwater basins they built out there. And at least 2 of them, actually 3 of them are in our jurisdiction because Tremont Street does have a wetland across the street. And then the other 2 at the south end. I'm saying from a stormwater / engineering perspective, I don't have the capability to tell them that was built exactly the way it should have been. So I think it's up to the commission to say whether you think I should tell Weston and Sampson to take a look at this before we sign off on it. However, I'm giving Mr. Cabral the authority well, I gave Mill Creek, I hope it was okay.
If Mr. Cabral goes back and does his farming, he's gonna plow that across
Right.
from
I'm
Corey's old house over to Tremont Street.
Yeah, I'm allowing him to do
Yeah,
that.
well, he's gonna solve the engineering problem that the contractors didn't take care of.
Probably, so
No, there's no probably about it, because they did that whole drainage deal, okay? They dug down a hard pan, they filled it with stone, and then they put a berm right over the top of all the stone.
I know.
And then nobody cut anything. That's wide open, all the way from his packing shed down to Tremont Street.
Yeah,
And water runs downhill, we all know that.
right. So
Now,
what
nobody cut that across to go into that basin that's supposed to catch it. But if we let Mr. Cabral farm it,
Yeah.
he's gonna plow from
That's
there
what
over.
I told him he could start
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
So that's what I was getting to. I
Yeah.
told Mill Creek they could have removed the erosion controls down Tremont Street until the area of the woodland where Mr. Cabral is supposed to be maintaining that. Middle Street, that corner around, he wants to maintain his walls and he wants to till. That was outside of our jurisdiction in the notice of intent. All right, so I don't know, as far as the basins go, are you guys, if I call Weston and Sampson and I tell them, look, we received this, I got it in hand right here, engineering reports, I can't read them, I don't know if you guys feel comfortable approving them, but I
Do
feel.
we have to ask for 53G account funds?
We will, once we can send this to Weston and ask for a proposal to review the as-bills, because I think it's on us and not stormwater. I know after we've read the stormwater regulations.
Yeah, the 2009 stormwater regulations designate 2 administering authorities for the regulations, one of which is the Conservation Commission, which administers stormwater regulations for all residential housing development and any commercial industrial development in which a wetland filing takes place.
And I wasn't here when we approved this, so I'm coming in late. And I'm not saying we should hold
Okay,
up
so
anything.
If we get a price from them and then we show it, and then we
Show it
give
to
it
Blue
to
Wave. Yep.
Mr. Cabral.
No, not Cabral.
No,
It
it's
has
nothing
nothing to do with
Jim.
him now.
Oh, it would be
He
the,
leases
okay.
it. It would be sent to field engineering, and field
Okay.
engineering would give it the bill to, Blue Wave.
And this won't hold up Mr. Cabral's ability to
No.
farm, correct?
Okay,
Okay,
all right,
yeah,
that sounds
Yeah, so
good.
if it's going to Blue Wave
Yeah.
and it's not gonna interfere with the agriculture, I mean,
Okay.
Okay, so, and then there was one more item under public input, it was me, I guess I just have a complaint, I already shared with a couple of you, but that I need more participation when it comes to budgets. Actually, Maureen and I need more participation when it comes to budgets and year-end stuff, because we don't even have a combined hours of 34, it's
You know,
38,
I mean-
33 hours.
Monday, we brought in Charlie even to, and he didn't have a clue on what they were asking.
Yeah.
And maybe we should just throw it back to Serena and say, you do it. No? Doesn't work, huh?
But,
what we could do is, if you have specific questions, is between the preliminary tax bill, the OPEB actuarial valuation audit that we have to do, an audit with Bristol County Retirement and the fiscal year end closeout. I don't have much bandwidth this time of year, to be honest. But what I will say is if you have specific questions, that I can help with. If
Well,
there's
I think
specific-
I did have a conversation with Serena, and I think she pretty much has answered the questions I have. Ours isn't too complicated, because any bills that are coming in the next, like, 2 weeks are mostly gonna be 53G.
Okay, oh, your questions about like encumbrances and things like that?
Things like that.
That I can
I'm
help you with,
still
yeah.
waiting on, Gay and Gay to get back with us. They won't have their final invoices until the 27th, so that's when I'll know about
Okay,
any.
that's fine, as long as they get it to us then. We have to request encumbrances for any expenses that are gonna come in past, I believe it's July 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that.
That's our drop dead date. I
Yeah,
believe.
so everything's just, I've just never done anything like this before, so I've been trying to figure it out as we go, and,
Yeah,
you
so.
know, it's
with-
a learning curve.
Yeah, with that, with specific questions like that, just call me.
Okay.
That I can help with. I have to do, because any department that uses the town credit card in the month of June, most likely I won't receive the actual bill from the credit card company until with the holiday.
Right.
It should be by the 11th, but, you know, postal service holidays, you never really know.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating helping all of those departments do encumbrances for any expenses that they put on the town credit card. So, you know, you can jump in the pile.
Okay.
Okay.
But,
Thank you.
I mean, it's also litigation with the attorneys. I don't, as you guys can imagine, I just don't have enough time. They want all the paperwork that was.
Anything about that we should talk about,
Yeah.
is it, you should discuss individually or an executive session? We shouldn't talk about anything
I'm not gonna talk about the specifics, but the paperwork that's involved with the litigation,
It's a lot.
it's a lot, and then there's deadlines, and I don't have the resources to deal with it. I mean, it's gonna take away from something else. I don't wanna avoid calls, I don't wanna avoid emails, but if I only worked the 25 hours a week, I would be avoiding a lot of things. Right now, I have earned time I can't use. Carrying over 42 hours of my vacation time. I have 12 hours of personal time. I don't even see how I can use that next week. So it's just a general complaint that I feel
Okay,
like we're
so-
set up for failure because we don't have the time to
The
deal with it.
minutes for every meeting for, this is on Forest.
No. It's everything, Jim. It's all,
But
everything.
I'm talking about what you're looking for now as far as the,
It's everything. They need everything.
Specific document requests, we need to discuss in executive
Every
session. We
yeah.
can't- We can't discuss any specific
So,
documents.
but if you could just imagine a stack of paperwork this tall, that's what they're looking for. So I'm just saying, if you guys want me to get it in on time, we need help. If you want us to get it in on time, we need help. And we need help, period. It's not sustainable.
when does this have to be in?
In a week. So I'm just letting you guys know. So we need more admin help. We need more participation somehow.
Okay, so what are we, so what
We'll
kind
not
of
get into
paperwork are we
We
pulling?
can't get into the specifics right now.
No, but
I
what
can t-
kind of paperwork are we pulling?
Oh.
Is it beyond minutes? Is it,
Jim,
Should
we
we
can't
enter
talk
an
about
executive
it.
session
No, we
real quick?
can't.
It's not on the agenda.
Oh,
No.
So.
Can we
Mr.
talk
Chairman,
about
I'd
it?
like to follow up with Lisa offline individually. I think that
Yeah.
might be the best.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
That paperwork has to get to the attorney, that paperwork has to get
Yeah.
sorted through and everything like that. So it's just, generally, I want you guys to know what's going on and how, sooner or later, someone's gonna complain. I didn't, return a call, I didn't return an email, and I didn't go through the permitting database, I just can't keep up with everything. I don't even know how I'm gonna take time off. And then, I think that was it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I am sorry because your benefits and your benefited time is part of your compensation.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
a lot of
important to
time.
me that you use it. We work very hard for the town of Dayton. We're fortunate to have you. The benefits you
Okay,
get.
and
are
I
part of
will
your
talk to you,
compensation. I want
Lisa,
you to use them.
and I'll talk to you about
Yeah.
what needs, okay.
Well, we could have come up with a strategy on how we're gonna fix this issue, because it's not gonna go away, because, you know, as we get appealed.
Unfortunately, our FY '25 budgets are done, but I think that we should talk about in general, in the future, there used to be an administrative stipend for one of the commissioners who's gonna do a lot of the legwork in terms of providing administrative support. I think maybe that's something that we should talk about revisiting at another time.
Here's a thought right now, that if there is a secretary that, somewhere upstairs that has insufficient workload, could someone like that be pulled to do 5 or 10 hours of work?
I don't know if we could do it in the middle of beginning without any budget.
Well, no, if they're getting paid already, but they can be temporarily drawn from that position to assist.
I mean, would any of you guys have even like an hour or two a week to help us with any of this?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk
Tell you what,
to you
Lisa,
about.
would you be willing to send me a specific list of the documents that are being requested? And even if I can't hit all of them, if I can hit 2 or 3?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, and I will be talking to you.
okay.
All right. All right,
Thank
we
you.
set for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.